leader and CEO of Dubai Tourism, Issam Kazim, has been instrumental in Dubai's growth as a tourist destination and its successful post-pandemic reopening. I caught up with him at his Dubai headquarters to find out what else the Emirate has planned for 2021. Issam Kazim, thank you so much for sparing some time to join us today to talk about Dubai. Just as it's made its way onto TikTok's most popular destinations in the world list. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On that. That's amazing. So, can you tell me, how safe is Dubai now?
Dubai is actually very, very safe. And we're proud to say that we're part of a very, very decisive government. We were one of the first places to actually open up. Opened up in May for domestic tourism, and in July to start receiving international tourists as well. And of course, the rollout of the PCR tests was amongst the best in the world when it came to vaccination. We're amongst the number 1 and 2 competing on that position globally in terms of vaccines per capita. And today we are just shy of 80% of the population being vaccinated.
Does that mean that Dubai will be fully vaccinated by the time the winter sun season starts?
That's what we're hoping for, because at the end of the day, first of all, the public safety and security has always been of paramount importance to Dubai. Now with COVID and what's happening with the pandemic, obviously that added another layer of safety, and that's why we are really working hard, putting all the efforts behind ensuring that we can get to that level ASAP.
As of the 6th of June, there is an app that we all need to use, the Al Hosn app, which means that we have to be vaccinated to enter bars, clubs and events. How will this impact tourists? Will they also need to sign up to the app?
I think from a federal level, there are a lot of policies and procedures that are rolled out to ensure public safety, of course. And then on a state or emirate level, each one of us has their own policies and procedures that are very well implemented. So in Dubai, for example, we have our safety protocols that don't necessarily require the vaccination to attend events or to go to restaurants and so on. So I think it all depends on the emirate level. Right now, the Al Hosn app is linked intrinsically with the Emirates ID. Then, of course, there are talks about how we can maybe have the apps also incorporating passport details and so on. So there are different measures that we're looking at, different steps that we're looking at to ensure that this is done quite effectively.
So coming on holiday to Dubai now, what do people need to get in? Just to recap, what's the state of play at the moment?
Right now, almost every single thing that you can imagine that the tourists would like to do is up and running, and it's open. Even hotels and restaurants are back up to 100%. So those are the kind of things, again, we've taken gradual steps from the extremely strict rules and procedures that we had in place during the domestic tourism window, which was in May 2020, where we really tried to pilot all of these new policies and then slowly become more relaxed with them. That gave us a good chance to see firsthand what's working and what is the best balance between business continuity and requirement, and at the same time not at the cost of safety. So once we were comfortable with that, we opened it up in July. We had 40,000 tourists coming into Dubai during July of 2020. And if you compare that to the March of 2021, we had 454,000 visitors. So you can see the numbers are actually growing quite quickly. There's pent-up demand, I know, and a lot of people are looking forward to coming to the destination because of the marketing activities and campaigns that we do. So it's a good place for us to be in. So when it comes to the measures that we have in place, as long as people are respecting the safe distancing, masks in all public places, even at restaurants, when they're entering the establishment, all the way through to when they're seated at the table, the mask should be on. They can remove it when they're within their own circle and at their table, but even if they're going to move to go to the restroom or to go to the bar, they need to put the bar back, the masks back on again. So those are the kind of things that people need to abide by. What we're also doing is on a regular basis, if you go to the visitdubai.com website, we have up-to-date information because, again, as and when things are changing, these will be updated regularly so everyone's aware, whichever market they're coming from, what are the policies and procedures of visiting Dubai and going out and about in Dubai.
And I'm assuming PCR tests on the way in, that will remain a standard for the foreseeable future.
Yes, and I think PCR tests and masks will be part of our life, at least for the foreseeable future. And what's convenient about Dubai is the accessibility to the tests. So they're almost anywhere. And also, a lot of the hotels offer the service of having PCR tests done at their properties as well. So we've made it as convenient as possible so people feel well and comfortable being in Dubai.
Switching gears slightly, I was at the hotel show recently and we were discussing how to make Dubai a culinary capital on the global food map. What is Dubai Tourism doing to support those goals?
It 100% is, and it came about more from the people, to be honest, from the tourists and from the residents, because I think like anything else in Dubai, we take a lot of these things for granted, right? So the restaurant scene here is amazing, and people usually associate Dubai with being catering to the certain high net worth individuals and only that. But no, Dubai has something for every single budget you can imagine. If you go to the older parts of Dubai, the cultural districts within Dubai, which we have a lot of, which again, not many people are aware of, but you will find restaurants that have been around for over 30, 40 years. They're run by the same family who started it, and they're run in the exact same way, and the cooking and everything's done in the exact same way. The menus probably not changed that much, if any changes since the day it started. And the aspect of affordability there is just unbelievable, and the quality of food is amazing. So people started saying that, why aren't you guys talking about it more often? They're like, because when it comes to decision making, in some instances it might not be the factor that makes you decide on a destination, but it's an amazingly important complementary factor when it comes to deciding on a destination. And the fact that we have 200 nationalities, right, that have chosen Dubai to be home, and they make up roughly 80% of the population. The flavors, no pun intended, of all of those cultures come through in the food and the cuisine, and that scene is so important for the destination. And that's why we said, you know what, it's about time we start announcing this to the world. And that's why a few years ago we launched Dubai Food Festival to celebrate cuisine and gastronomy and the food scene in Dubai. And in fact, we started to talk about foodie trails and the food destination, because gastronomy sometimes makes it, again, sound like it's very exclusive and elite and expensive. So we changed the terminology because we want people to know the quality of food, whether you're paying big dollar value against it or it's at a budget experience, it's still going to be amazing. And the quality of the hygiene measures that we have is second to none. You can eat anywhere in Dubai and feel absolutely safe that the hygiene measures and the quality of service and everything is going to be amazing.
And do you think that we'll ever have a Michelin guide in Dubai?
I don't see why not. I think we have now a proven track record when it comes to quality of service, quality of produce, and quality of the end product as well. And we have a lot of the Michelin awarded chefs represented in the food scene in Dubai. They have their own restaurants here. They frequently come to Dubai and have activations here. So it is definitely amongst the food agenda for a lot of the more well-aware or the connoisseurs of the food scene. So I think it's just a matter of time, if I'm being honest, because from my experience and from talking to the people in the know, I think that enough people have come through Dubai who know that Michelin should be, or Dubai should be on their agenda, basically.
Absolutely. And do you know if there are any specific requirements that Michelin have for getting on that agenda, or is it just a matter of catching their attention?
I think it's, from my personal humble opinion, I think it's just about getting on their radar to begin with. And I think if we are to leverage the restaurateurs and the chefs that are in Dubai, that are well connected into that scene, and letting them be the voice to speak about what's happening over here would be important. What's also good to note is recently, just before COVID, we had a trip to France because we were included in their new guide, which is Guide Vert, if I pronounce that correctly, which is the green guide, which is a new book that Michelin has launched. And Dubai is actually, Dubai and Abu Dhabi were showcased on that in that book as well. So it shows you that we are definitely getting there. Yeah. And since it's a new launch for them, it's capturing a new segment for Michelin. So it means that we're on the right track to get their attention, to get their notice, and hopefully the red shouldn't be that far behind.
In addition to coming to Dubai on holiday, you can now opt for a range of visas. There's the golden visa and there's the virtual working visa. Can you tell me about those?
The golden visa is, it's basically looking at different people, for example, from different career sites. So you have scientists, doctors, engineers, athletes, so many people who would love to have either their main home or a second home somewhere around the world. And most of the people, especially now, have taken notice post-COVID and the way that we managed COVID, and they decided that Dubai is the ideal location for them. And I'm talking about people who frequently traveled through Dubai, and they always thought that Dubai was a transit destination with 2-3 days being enough. But it's only during this period of time when they couldn't go anywhere else. They said, you know what, Dubai is safe, it's comfortable, we know the place, we're going to go with the family, nothing to worry about. That they really got an in-depth experience of what Dubai can do for them and what Dubai has to offer. And immediately, their complete opinion, they were already fans of Dubai, but they became a completely different level of an advocate of the city today. And now those people have set up shop here and they found their own reasons as to why they should be in Dubai more often, if not permanently.
And the visas last 5 or 10 years,
Yes.
right? So they're extended visas.
Yes.
And the virtual working visas, are they
A year
they're
long.
1 year
Yeah,
visas?
because again, because of the nature of a virtual program, it's something that's usually more short term. So we said, let's make it at least 1 year. And the advantage of any of these programs is that you apply for the visa, but that doesn't mean that, oh, you have to be in the country for a minimum of 6 months, or you have to be out for a short period of time before you come back. It's very, very flexible.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what makes it even more useful and more attractive.
And what about retirees who want a holiday home in Dubai? Is there a visa for them?
Absolutely. There's a retirement visa as well. So you see, the thing is, they say whenever there is a crisis, i.e. the pandemic, there are also opportunities for those who are open-minded enough to be looking for that and to grab on those, right? And for us, that's exactly what happened. When the pandemic hit, rather than sit and wait, we took decisions. One was, let's look at all of the programs that we've always spoken about. Some great ideas, but we were so busy that we never really got a chance to really focus on. So we worked on these new programs. So virtual working program, the retirement program, the golden visa, and so on. So those became great opportunities for us to really roll these things out in a much bigger way. And if you're talking about retirees or even the golden visa, there's so many things about Dubai besides the beach, besides the desert, besides the culture and the restaurants and so on and so forth. Golf, for example. We have amongst the best golf courses in the world that are here, and not everyone knows about it, right? So there are a lot of things that really position Dubai as the ideal location for a lot of these guys who are deciding on that.
And we've got some pretty big events coming up this year as well. We've got the UAE Golden Jubilee.
Yes.
We've got a committee together for that. They're planning celebrations.
Yes.
Can you give us any idea of what will be happening, and should tourists make sure that they've got their flights booked for anything in particular?
Look, I would say yes, definitely. And what I would say is, without giving too much away, stay tuned on, we have a Dubai calendar website as well, where we update every single thing that's happening in Dubai from the private sector as well as the public sector. And I assure you that there will be so many things that are happening across the board, from concerts to festivities to fireworks to just general celebrations that'll be going around the city, starting from the Dubai Summer Surprises, which is right around the corner, all the way through till the end of the year. And I know that you're leading up towards the big event, which is the crown jewel of events right now for us on our calendar. I think it's the first time that's happening in the near region for us, which is the World Expo. We're very proud of that, of course. It's a 6-month-long event, as you know, starting from October 2021 all the way through till the end of March of 2022. And the National Day, which is the 2nd of December, falls smack in the middle of that event as well. So there's so much being planned. Even the expo itself are promising more than an event a day for 6 months. So you're talking about an event that's literally for everyone, from business people all the way through to even younger kids. There are operas, there's going to be concerts, there's going to be ballets and so on and so forth. There's so much to learn, enjoy, and experience within those 6 months and until well into 2022.
Do you need to be vaccinated for that, or that's an open event, isn't it, because it's an open air?
It is an open air event, but again, like I said, the way that things are going, progressing forward, I think most of the people traveling in would be vaccinated. At least that's what I'm anticipating. And the thing is, you will have a lot of still safety measures in place, because again, it's not something that we're going to take lightly at all, right? Because you're going to have the whole world watching, and you're going to be responsible for the whole world participating. You have over 190 countries that are represented with their own individual pavilions, the largest ever in the history of Expo. So those are the kind of things that we want to ensure that goes in the smoothest way and the smoothest fashion possible.
Yeah. All eyes of the world
Absolutely.
are on us. Well, I'm sure it will be fabulous. Issam Kazim, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure's been mine. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Thank you.